Hey everyone, what is going on?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the side of the layout today. You might remember last time we were live, we had things decoupling and some issues like that, and that's going to be standard when you're mixing different kinds of couplers and things like that. So, I want to do something a little different today. And yes, we have a different time today. Hopefully, some of our regulars can join. We know it's a big ask when we change up our times and everything, but we appreciate that. It was quite the week lately, to say the least. If you saw our last update, oh boy, it was pretty wild here. I see Mark's with us. Victoria's on the chat, but she's pretty much right beside me, so
Hello!
I'm sure she'll be chiming in. So anyways, first things first. Well, the loudest truck just like pulled right behind our garage. That's awesome. Well, I don't know if it's distracting you. It distracted me, certainly. Anyways, all right, what we have here is 16 cars, which I really like these guys. They are Atlas Trainman aluminum coal gondolas, and they're from April 2019. I didn't remember that. I just had to look that up. But they're really cool for being Trainman. They're actually really nice. And as you can see, I was a fan. So I don't always take everything that comes into the shop, but this was one of those occasions where I pre-ordered and bought from Trains in the Valley as well, which is always a great thing to do. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, yeah, we don't try to promote too much. Honestly, the whole thing with the layout show, I like to just give my personal opinions, not really ever a sales pitch. I just say, hey, this works for me, and that's the beauty of this hobby. Different things work for different people. So, I remember last time James joined us and said, you gotta standardize, and that is so true. You'll have nothing but problems if you have all kinds of different couplers battling each other and stuff. And these are like what came from the factory. They're the Accumates. And again, nothing against those couplers, but they just don't like scale couplers, and some other brands like Scale Trains couplers, they really don't like them. And that's just the way it is. And again, maybe it's just the circumstances of our layout. So that's where good old Katie's come in. We're putting on 158s today. I cut the trip pins. I know that's not ideal if you're gonna be working with magnets, but my hands usually gotta get involved anyways to deal with derailments and stuff. So I'm like, hey, I don't mind being hands-on. so that's what I do. So gotta take the advantage of this time too to clean these guys up a little bit. So one thing that's nice is the coal loads come out pretty easily, but of course I'll probably struggle because I'm here live. But anyways, just gonna find the right screwdrivers I need here and get this underway. See how many we can get done here. It's been a bit of a time constraint type of week here. Again, yeah, that's what I was gearing up to say. That if you saw our last update, not our house, not property we own, but where our train shop is that we rent a booth in Elizabethville. Well, I'll just back up for a minute. We were doing some work on our new property, and it was such a beautiful day until this big gust of wind just came, and it was like the weather changed dramatically. Like we were getting pegged on the head with ice. I had a fire going that was blowing all over. It just came out of nowhere. It was crazy. So it was about 4 o'clock. We packed up for the day. I'm like, hey, I got some extra time before my next thing. I'm gonna relax a little bit, maybe for like 30 seconds. And Victoria comes running my way. She's like, we got an emergency, we gotta go. Like, okay, what's that all about? Well, the owner of the shop gave her a call, and I'll say this before anything. I was so impressed with the urgency of this whole thing. But basically at that point we knew there were some issues, and it's like we got to go check on our stuff. There was some storm damage. So we're walking in, and I'll never forget this legendary moment. Victoria's like, so what's going on with the roof? He's like, okay, from here to the back of the building, there's no roof. I'm like, okay. So this gust of wind just pretty much rolled over, just curled the metal roof right over. So yeah, it was bizarre. And like, I don't know, like this place is in really nice condition, honestly. So it was just like one of those like freak kind of accident things, or you know what I mean. But yeah, so what we had to do is take all our inventory out, and just yesterday we got everything back in. So we were kind of shut down for a week. I know we tried to let everybody know, but it's hard for the people that just kind of drop in. And that trip pin, yeah, the trip pin definitely just ricocheted. Like maybe safety goggles next time.
That'd be good. Or like a shield or something.
A face shield, yeah. Well, hey, these cutters are pretty good. I literally just found these in a collection, and that was way better than what I had.
I remember those.
Yeah, I'm impressed. They had pretty much disintegrated that trip pin. That was awesome. I'm gonna do that away from my face this time. Yeah, it goes fine. Vacuum cleaner will pick them up though. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, that it was a bit wild there. So yeah, I know our YouTube's been a little quiet, and you probably recognize the fact that we had no show last week. Well, that was what was going on. It was, when one thing gets derailed, so to speak, best metaphor for it, it affects the rest of your week pretty quickly, and that was no exception.
Yeah, life kind of happens, and stuff happens, and it changes the rest of the course of your plans, and
yeah,
it just happens sometimes.
I guess the easiest way to say it is it cut into our train time significantly. And I'll tell you what, guys, like, I'm impressed. Like, sometimes I like, there were a lot of big train shops around, and we still hear about these huge train shops that have just been in business for, such a long time. And then we would look at our little booth, and I kind of feel like, oh, I wish we had more. I wish we had the new shop, all that stuff. But boy, when you start moving every single item you have and trying to unpack it all, like yesterday, I'm like, wow, we got trains. We really grew a lot in our years, and there were so many good like we really saw like the support come in. Like, people are like, hey, I hope you get back up and running real quick and everything. And I don't know, it feels good. The support is awesome. Everyone's asking when the new shop's coming. And like I said, everything, like, there was no issues, no, hard feeling. That was the weather, like, that wasn't their fault. Like, these little things can happen quickly. So really no problem there. Man, there's really some excavation going on behind our place, apparently. We live you guys see it in the videos on the Rails to Retail sometimes. There's like a big field behind our house, so I don't know if it's farm equipment or guys playing around with tires again. I don't know what's going on back there, but it's very loud. Yeah, so 158s, we're going scale. I just kind of like how they look. And the wheels, I'm leaving everything go for now. It's one of those things like, okay, they're not broke, we don't need to fix them, but I do really like throwing on the 500 series or I should say the 530 series from Katie. They really look nice. See some fuzzers, we don't need them to get all over the track. Of course it's not going to behave, but we'll wipe it off. I got microfiber then. Now, if everything goes to plan, you know, again, because these are all the same car, once I get really into gear here, this should be pretty easy. But we'll see. But yeah, I guess, speaking of Rails to Retail for a minute, we do have an entire episode filmed. It was just generally busy, and then our shop situation, that didn't help my editing time at all yet. But I want to get that video out, and I really want to get the video, our unboxing. We have yet to unbox all these awesome donations that were sent to us, and I think, like, yeah, I feel bad about that the most, because, like, I know, like, these fine folks are eager for us to dig into these things and be able to use them, or, you know, specifically whatever purpose they had in mind for them, we want to get on it. So I feel bad about that. So hopefully, I know I shouldn't make promises because life is crazy, but I would really like to get 2 videos out next week to get caught up, because we have that going on. We have some serious O-scale stuff going on, which you've already been hearing about if you're on the newsletter. Alright, I think we have a car. Let's see how it matches up. I got my KD 205 here.
Dawn said you can't wait for the next episode.
We appreciate that. Oh, and it's good to see you here too. I was literally thinking about you. I'm like, we have something going tonight, so yeah, I felt bad. I'm like, oh man, we have to do it early. West Coast friends, gonna be feeling it, but hey.
He said he's on break.
Oh, you're on break. Well, hey, it's good to.
Someone said they're done work at 2:15.
Okay.
That vehicle is so loud.
Yeah, that vehicle's even drowning out Victoria, so it's serious. Okay, I think we got perfect match, which, yes, anything created these days should pretty much be a center set coupler. But, yeah, that's looking good. So I don't really have to worry about testing the rest. They should all be set. I'm going to dust this guy off a little bit because it's time to be grimy yet.
Say hello to Uncle H.
Uncle H, good to see you here. It's really nice to see the crew coming in. And Victoria did feel bad about missing her weathering show last night. Of course, you know, the roof blew off on Wednesday, and we got our products back yesterday, Wednesday. So that's what happened there. Kind of messed up 2 of our weeks there. But hey, maybe next week's a new week. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it was funny. One of those things, guys. Like the whole roof blowing off last Wednesday. We like never have plans with friends.
Yeah.
Like ever. And like someone invited us for like supper. We were like all excited. And the owner calls me and he's like, "Hey, are you busy?" And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm busy. And he's like, "Well, you better not be. You better change your plans." And he's like, "Roof blew off."
Yeah. Which I don't know if we like, we're like, did it? What really happened? Oh yeah, it happened. All right. Well, this one's on there pretty snug, isn't it? Usually a little shake can get these wiggled off.
Another person asked about what KDs you're using again. If you want to show the pack, maybe?
Sure. Yeah, I'll present it in its glory there. There. I can't even talk. 158. That's me trying to like do 3 things at once. Okay, we got this. There it is. Yeah. You can tell they've been on my layout for like years, and they're like still factory fresh. I try to take care of my stuff.
Hey, Rick's Trains.
Hello everyone. Thanks for finding a little time in your schedules to hang out with us on this Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, this is crazy. So we had about 8 people in, and I was like, that's not bad for 2 p.m. I blink, it's at 13 now.
Oh, wow.
What?
Yeah.
Yes, Uncle H, the roof situation was quite wild. We survived. The owners of the shop were great to work with the whole ordeal. You know, it wasn't their fault. It just was a. We got some crazy winds in Pennsylvania. It felt weird to say Pennsylvania, not PA.
PA.
But as of yesterday, we got everything back in the shop a week later. And now we can get back to normal business. I hope.
I hope so, because we sure got a lot of business to attend to. Like I said. Yeah, there's some exciting stuff coming up, but, you know, I can't count, you know, the eggs before they hatch yet, but it's been eventful. We've been, I know the collections have been a little quiet. Well, I will say what we've been doing. You know, I know it's probably a running joke at this time, but like our warehouse, that's always like the section that's always a disaster. Well, we're really getting it cleaned up now. So we've been kind of going through that stuff, and we've more or less just been trying to price stuff to sell, because a lot of it's leftovers, not all of it, but a lot of it's leftovers from collections that at the time I don't think we knew how to deal with it. Maybe like there was a time where we had like 3 box sizes, you know, now we have like 30 box sizes, so that you know, that we keep in stock to be able to ship items. So we definitely became more diversified from those days in honestly a pretty short time.
Uncle H said that's not the weathering you want to do.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was some real weather, right?
And then Glenn said better than a tornado.
Yeah, I know. It made me question it for a moment there. Oh, I just.
Did you drop one?
For a second, but I thankfully I found it. I know in our new place I'm not gonna have like a black carpet. It's not great for screws and things like that. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, guys, I'm grateful for you guys hanging out here a little bit. You know, it's like free therapy after this week. No, I mean, yeah, I love running trains, but I'll tell you what, this is what the hobby's about too. It's like, you know, and I'm not saying that any of these cars were really giving us any specific problems or anything like that, but it is nice to know that next time we operate, these guys should be good to go. And I added on a little track to the layout, actually quite a bit, and I'm proud to say and happy to say that we have about 4 more switches to get, and hopefully we get those ordered, if not this week, if not by the end of this week, hopefully early next week. I need a bunch of curves yet, and then pretty much that class 1 yard is ready for your eyes, so to speak. I mean, I'm sure I'll show off where we're at the moment, but right now I'm kind of missing, I'm missing one specific curve, so I kind of have to cheat, and I'm using like a really sharp 18-inch curve. Like, I think it's like the 1/3 piece. So the class 1 yard is known for its larger equipment, so it kind of, yeah, it kind of screams at me a little bit when we start bringing in like 70-foot cars into that area. So it's not quite ideal, but we're gonna get the curve that we need, and we'll really be up and running. What am I doing? Okay. Yeah, I'll say this, and you guys probably know. You guys are all pros out there as well, but I like to keep a little bit of a rocking motion. I found out that if you make your screws too tight, I mean, you don't want them falling off, but if you make them too tight, it just doesn't like negotiate all of the, especially switches. I think like whenever there's a little bit of it just gotta swivel a little bit, or maybe in my case, the garage floor is not level. I don't know, whatever it be. It just seems to work better when you have a little bit of swivel going on there. I feel like it's able to return to sender. You know, I'm not a scientist, but I do know this. Less derailments, less issues.
Glenn says a little play goes a long way for truck performance.
Yes, that rhymes. I love it. Yes. I love that. Because, yeah, 9 times out of 10, like, I'll get, like, a brand new item. And if it derails right away, the first thing I'll check is, oh, yeah, this is, like, so snug. It doesn't want to move at all. I mean, I've seen them from factory be so tight that they can't even, like, turn. Like, oh, man. I'm like, well, it wasn't going anywhere, at least. Alright, I'm gonna try not to, like, push these down too much. Maybe they'll be easy to take out. Oh, man, I feel like a coal hopper just got unloaded behind my house. What is happening? Well, that's one thing about going live at 2 o'clock while they're still working. Well, the thing is, spring is finally in the air, so to speak, in our area, so everyone's going crazy. I know, I think I'm going to be mowing grass next week. I'm just glad that I don't have those weeds to deal with anymore. We are not going to let that grow back at the train shop. That was terrible. But it did make for entertaining content, that's for sure. Every time we meet someone locally, they'll say, I've been watching your videos. Man, those weeds are crazy. I love that. I was like purple for like 3 days from some of those things, and then I found out like that whole plant was poisonous. I'm like, oh great. Like I was like stained from it. It was terrible. But I didn't have any reactions, but I don't know. That's one thing I got going on. I don't have a lot of allergic reactions to stuff, so that's positive. Like I used to just touch like fiberglass insulation as a kid and to install it with my bare hands and no issues. But now I wear a mask because I'm like, oh, that's why I'm coughing so much, because this thing is literally like pieces of glass flying in the air. No wonder. Yeah, I'm really looking at our building material. I know this goes into rails to retail a little bit, but hey, we're here. Yeah, I'm really going to be looking into, you know, I mean, you can go overboard, no doubt, with building supplies, but when it comes to building our place, I really want to keep in mind, like, there's going to be a lot of trains in there. We want to keep it really clean and keep the temperature good, you know, not have stuff rusting away and everything. So I'm doing a lot of research there. But yeah, I can't wait for that next update. It's gonna show the task at hand, that's for sure. And well, you'll finally know what we've been up to the whole time here. Oh man, I love this cutter. This is just tearing them up. Wow. Yeah, that's strong. They're just flying all over the place. So I guess I should ask, I rambled enough. What's everyone up to? I mean, I don't know if there's train time going on this early in the day with any of you guys, but maybe you can share what you've been working on the layout, or if you have something new and shiny that just made it to the railroad, feel free to let us know. Victoria, she can relay it to me as getting these gearboxes hooked up.
working.
Yeah. Oh, hey, well, full disclosure, we were shipping items out about 30 minutes before we started. And, oh, that vehicle finally shut off.
Quiet. It's weird now. It's so quiet.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I think I was starting to get used to it because, like she said, yeah, now it's really quiet.
So, you know, Glenn maintains parks. He always talks about what he does.
Oh, yeah.
He said he saw some trains earlier.
That's always a good thing.
Rick's train says I put in a triangle on my layout. Say working on getting Ross double crossover put in slowly.
Nice. Yeah, that's really cool. Oh yeah.
Terry's been painting the figures on his layout.
Nice.
Glenn said that that park is next to an active main line.
Hey, that's a big plus, you know. Yeah, there was a time where we were in Harrisburg a lot more, and then of course with our other shop that we had. Oh yeah, it was just so nice though, all the sea trains.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as our other shop, haven't been missing the commute. I really, yeah, I can't wait till everything's under one roof. I mean, we're still operating out of 3 buildings with that shop in mind, so it's gonna be nice when it's all together. And now the wind's picking up. It was so quiet. Now I hear the garage doors squeaking. Okay, I think I'm happy with that.
How many did you do so far?
We got 3.
Nice.
3 of 16, but, well, hey, if it goes too long, we don't have to get them all done today. It's always next time. As long as I keep track of which ones I did, that's the key. Well, I mean, it's obvious when I look at the couplers.
Glenn, you gotta email it to me. I need to see it.
Victoria wants to see.
He said that he saw a 50s era photograph of a beautiful Great Northern 2880 logo, green paint and everything.
The green paint, yeah, on steam engines are really nice. We have a DC one that I just saw it in the warehouse. Maybe Victoria forgot about it. But that's the problem, you know, when you're all in DCC. It's like, is it worth the conversion?
Oh yeah, I saw it sitting on the shelf.
Yeah, it's nice.
I'm not ready to give that one up yet.
It's not ready. Well, hey, we can always create...
Maybe it'll be our first project.
Yeah, we could upgrade it, or I was gonna say something that's cool that you can do. Like, I try to think outside of the box and everything. Like, here's an idea. If you have like a locomotive, or it's like a beater or something like that, you can almost, you know, throw it in a yard or throw it off to the side somewhere, like they call it Left for Dead, basically. But I was thinking you could put a museum. You could have like a museum display on the side of the layout, have a little building, and have a nice piece of track there, and set up like a museum outside display for it. I'll just do stuff like that. I want to do like caboose motels and things like that, because we certainly get enough cabooses. So that is always a project. You can do all kinds of cool stuff. Just the other week when we were going through the warehouse, I found some track these pieces were like beyond repair. I'm just like, okay, these are getting thrown out basically, but I'm like, not quite yet. I'm like, I'm gonna use the ties on them and make some loads for gondolas, because I have some maintenance that are tie loading only. So, and I'm like, hey, I can have Victoria paint them on a Weathering Wednesday or something like that, and it'll be great. So yeah, things are happening. Oh man, I tried to avoid like getting screwdrivers involved, but boy, this one's really tight. I feel like it wants to come, but it's really in there. Well, this is the worst case scenario here, but usually I can find the smallest screwdriver. I have, and you know, you kind of deal with some scratching here, but kind of just gotta see if we can get it loose a little bit. And that one really is snug there, and that's the reason I'm not putting them in all the way. I always wanted to like figure out a system for like putting magnets on the back of them, and then like having like a big magnet to just take them right off. That would be actually pretty sweet. There's always one. Wow. That's, I can't say enough, that's really in there. Oh, there we go. I used to like really panic about like those little, like I definitely just created like a small nick, but till Victoria's done weathering this thing and everything, it's gonna look like it's actually been out there for, like, when was this car built? Like, was this 90s or 2000 era? You know, at that point it's been out there a little bit. So I'm like, I won't stress about it. I just need this. Just would like to actually see what's going on inside. Because my ultimate goal is to be able to start using these a little bit so we can remove the loads and get some realistic stuff going on. Wow, this is terrible.
Uncle H did a whole lot of shakings going on, Tori.
I know. There we go. I feel like it was in crooked or something because it's really tight. If I would have known, I would have did this beforehand. But I literally picked up the first one and it was like, it was instant.
Butter.
Yeah, it was like butter. You know what, I just realized these I can kind of expand these a little bit. But it's really hard to get the whole motion perfect. Any second now. I almost got it.
20 minutes later.
Okay, yeah. There it is. Wow, that was crazy. Yet I'm not surprised.
Thrilling, right?
Yep. Alright. Well, that's why coal service will happen between layout shows on the layout. We'll just have to say, hey, that's what's happening for the whole week. There. I mean, that's pretty realistic. The coal train comes by about once a week here. So that gives them some time to... Well, actually, you know what? They changed the way they started doing it locally. Well, at least their propane, that's kind of like a weekly situation. But anyways,
Connor said you can use a hobby knife to wedge out the coal loads from the sides.
Yeah, you know what? I do have one, like, literally behind me. We'll see if we gotta resort to that. Yeah, that's the thing, you know, like, I'm trying to not destroy these, but I don't know, they're not giving me a lot of options here.
Hey, Rodney!
Hey, Rodney, good to see ya. And anyone joining us, well, you probably figured out by now we're beside the layout today, doing a little upgrading on these aluminum coal cars. And these are all Atlas Trainman cars. They're really nice. Just, we want to throw some 158 couplers on there. Because the reason being for the scale, well, the main reason is I like how they look. I like how they perform, by all means. But yeah, scale ones just don't like to... My other cars don't play well with the Accumates for that reason. They don't seem to like scale couplers too much. And that's okay. That gives us an opportunity to do some upgrading, which honestly I really enjoy. It's kind of relaxing if everything's going to plan. Okay. And this will be our final Norfolk Southern one, at least. I really do like these cars. They're sharp, and of course the Burlington Northern ones back there, they were a bit of a stretch for our era, but again, that's the great thing. As Victoria's going to become a weathering machine, we'll get everything on there. We'll get some grime, and then we'll get some stripes on there. That'd be awesome. But yeah, I've been definitely been eager to run some trains though too. Honestly, it was tough. I wanted to do this, but since it's, we missed last week, I was like, oh, I really want to run trains, but I really want to upgrade. So I'm like, okay, if I upgrade, then things will run smoother when I run trains, and then maybe I can put all these cars together, and be able to use some of the main track a little better. Oh, and one thing that's been good is I created, well, I'll explain how oh boy. That's funny. Everything was smooth till now. I'm like, I can't get it lined up right there. But yes, our local railroad, Reading and Northern, which there are some cars back there of theirs. So the closest crossing to where we live, it's in the back of a propane facility, which was somewhat recent since got hyped up on trains. They put that facility in, and that was kind of really cool because it's only like 10 minutes away from where our shop's gonna be. So there's a little bit of train action if you time things quite right. But what I was thinking about is we have like 2 lines for propane on the layout, and I'm like, yeah, if only I had a little more storage, you can never have enough staging area, right? Well, I got to thinking, I'm like, hey, what they do in real life, they have their propane cars, then they have spacing for the crossing for the road, and then it goes over, and that's where they store stuff, mostly hoppers and things like that. So I whipped up some 18-inch curves, left a little bit of a gap, and now I just gained about, let's say, 14 foot of storage about. So that's pretty significant, actually, and really helpful. So my goal has been to make the shows a little more effective, because I like to run a lot of stuff, but what happens is when we get a lot of locos out there running and long trains, then everything kind of gets congested, and then it gets a little difficult to rotate things and run some different things. So with that in play, right now I didn't take any cars off the layout, and sure, a ridiculous amount on there. And there's like nothing on the main line, the 2 main lines at all. So everything's like stored at the moment. Now I do have to pull some stuff off to, like, yards. The rule is sort of, if a yard's half full, that means it is full. That's a general rule of thumb. And again, it's my railroad. There's no rules, right? But it does make sense because there's some congestion that can happen. And we definitely see it some nights on the layout when like I have 2 trains like 2 inches apart. It's like, okay, we gotta do something about this. Okay, we'll see if I can get this load on its way here. You know what? I just realized they're clean inside. I'll deal with it when I have to. When I have to. We'll go about that way. I can. Because really nothing. They're not that dusty. So see, we're getting more efficient. Or as my computer teacher used to say, we're getting lazily efficient, or efficiently lazy, or something like that. They, you know, work smarter, not harder. Well, I hope these cars perform really good next week when we do the show. That would be great. It would make these efforts look worthwhile. That would be a good tip of the hat to Katie. No, I really don't have problems unless there's other factors going on. So I'm not worried. Well, let's see, what time is it? Oh, time's ticking.
Going on 3.
Time's ticking, but I'll see if I can get the rest of the Reading and Northerns done. And maybe when I'm ready for a chill little session to kick back and do more upgraded, maybe we'll get the other ones in. You know, and I've been thinking about that too. We have the scheduled shows and stuff, but it's actually really easy for me to do this. It's not easy for me to look at comments though. That's Victoria is really helpful for watching what's going on and keeping me informed. But I will say this, there's definitely times where I'm just straight up running my trains, and I would love to just say, hey, I'm gonna go live and do this thing really quick, maybe a specific task or something like that. Yeah, so maybe there'll be some spontaneous shows. We'll see. I want to definitely have it as an option, not rule it out. So we'll see what the future holds with that. I know that once we have like the big layout going on and stuff, I don't know exactly how everything will work out, but it would be sweet for it to kind of always sort of be in operation. I know one thing, this is a bit of a spoiler, but I'm going to be experimenting with a new, I'll just leave it at this for now, but getting a new control system to test out. I'm kind of looking forward to it because I'm still using the Bachmann Dynamis, which is, honestly, it was good for my needs, but it is starting to show its age a little bit when I want to keep kind of hopping, so to speak, and I'm like finding myself like not able to operate the way I'd like to in a live situation, because like all my industries, like the infrared doesn't reach it, and I have to like awkwardly extend my arms to try to get a signal, and then it doesn't catch it, and we got locomotives bumping into each other. We don't want that. That just makes people concerned about the hobby when they see that happening. So yeah, gonna be trying that out, and also it's gonna maybe allow us to do some crazy stuff in the future. I know JMRI scares some people, but we'll see if we get that integrated in the future. I think with all the switches I gotta keep track of, it won't be a bad thing. I could have Victoria as a yard master. I could use that. But I told her she could run trains from the computer while I'm doing the show. That'd be pretty sweet. And she can still moderate. I said, hey, you could at least flick some lights, or if you see a accident about ready to happen, jump in. Yeah, we'll see. Definitely take you guys along for the ride as we learn, because I'm sure there's a few of you out there that know a ton more than we do with that stuff, but I'm excited. Here's just a random fun thing, but I'm sure some people like wondered this too already, so I'll just throw it out there. It's no like secret or anything, but you know, so I have all these cars, you know, that we bought from Trains in the Valley, like I said earlier. So here we are, we're showing them off on YouTube and everything. It's sort of like, I wouldn't say it's a product demo, but you get the idea, you know, we're showing them off. I say, hey, I like them and all that stuff. I was just looking up, I'm like, are there any like tax benefits to like product reviews and things like that? And it's like so crazy. Like you literally, it says like the only legal way to do it is like you have to like either sell the item afterwards or throw it out. I'm like, well, that's not happening. And literally, like a lawyer was talking about it, or I don't know, someone like an accountant or a lawyer or something, and basically said like you have to absolutely prove that you're only doing it for business and that you don't enjoy it. I'm like, well, I'm out. Like, it was just funny. Like, yeah, I couldn't literally stand here and be like, oh, this is hard work, I don't like this. It would be impossible. You know, I'm obviously a hobbyist. Alright, I didn't even show this guy off here. Pretty nice car there. I'm honestly not even sure. I don't know if they even have any of these on their roster or not. Could be a question for our RBMN expert here. I don't know if he's with us today yet, but yeah, I honestly don't know. I know the roster has definitely grown. But yeah, I'm actually unaware. There was a point where I knew everything that was going on. Let's see, what did it... I don't think I wiped this guy off. Like I said, we gotta make him look nice and shiny, and then we'll figure out the weathering later on. Okay. Alright, yeah, I think I'll do about 3 more, and then we got other chores to take care of and things like that.
We have till 4.
Okay. Victoria's
I'm not
like...
saying you have to go another hour. I'm just saying we do have till 4.
We do have till 4. We'll see how many I can get done. I want to gauge it that like I can get a whole set done. If not, then I'll just kind of get confused.
That's true.
It was pretty amazing how long it took. Right, all these were on the layout, and it took me like 15 minutes to find them. Like they were all scattered like in different industries and different lines, and some were setting off to the side. I'm like, wow, where are they? Like this should be easy to find. But in all honesty, we have cars that look similar. Like there's some like the NS cars. Like we have a couple Atlas 100-ton guns. So they kind of almost look the same at a quick glance, you know. So I'm like, oh, there, no. But now we're getting a system down. Foam Cradle by Bowser. Hot product. Oh, I said I won't do reviews, but they are like, they're really, they fly off the shelves. I think we finally got enough to hold us over though. They didn't sell out this week yet, so I think we finally ordered enough. But yeah, like these things been around since like our day one, and all of a sudden it's like people never saw them before. I'm like, oh wow. But they are really nice. They kind of remind me of the same foam that you get like I think the brand's Frost King for like air conditioner, like you know, shoving like insulation around them and things. It kind of reminds me of that, but it is nice. I like that I can kind of like sort of like open it up and set it in, especially for like delicate locos. I kind of just let it like mold around it, I guess you could say. I don't know, but they're really handy. It's been a while. Story laughs every time I clip one of these things. Yeah, it's been a good moment though since I've been like in a serious, had time for a serious like upgrading session. So this is awesome. So yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out a little bit. Should have prepared more things to talk about.
Well, I will talk to you about. I think I figured out whose item that was at the mail.
Oh.
It was just a shipment I did yesterday.
Oh, that's really weird.
So he said that must have happened 3 times. It probably was 3 different shipments. Because I did it a few times with the label like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it must.
Literally one I shipped yesterday, and the name was the name we thought it was.
Yeah.
We thought it was Harold Crump. It was. Let me find it again.
Oh boy.
It was Howard Crump.
Oh.
And I wrote Crump with a K, but it's Crump with a C.
Okay.
So I was looking.
Yeah,
we
we just.
searching Harold Crump with a K. No.
Oh boy.
I know. I literally shipped it yesterday.
Okay.
So it came back from Harrisburg, Lancaster, or whatever, like that quick.
Yeah, that's interesting. We just learned something. After shipping thousands and thousands of packages, we just found out that when you like, oh, let's see, where's a box? Like, well, this isn't a shipment box, but this is a box. Like, we had a label like on a small box, and we put it on, but then folded it around, so like the barcode was over here and the name was here. Well, on this particular case, like, our name was on the top, like the from, and his name was on the other side. Well, apparently when the distribution center scanned it, it only saw the one name, so it thought it was coming back to me. So they had to like make a note on it for the scanner to say, hey, it's going here. We never, yeah. It's so funny that...
With small boxes, we have to do that sometimes.
Yeah. So now it makes me realize maybe we can't use a certain type of box.
Well, that was a 1063, so...
Oh, yeah.
I think the 844s it works fine on.
Mm-hmm.
Because we just have to make sure that the fold is... like that they see both addresses in one at the top of the fold, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But yeah, we're still learning stuff. One thing I am we got talking to the postmaster yesterday, and she asked about like she's like be honest, do you have a lot of damages? And I'm like, oh wow, over like 7 years, I'm like, it's like, I don't know.
Probably less than 20.
Oh, I would say it's maybe like 5, maybe.
I was going high.
Yeah.
It's definitely less than 20.
Like I can almost like count them in my head, and honestly, there were even cases where probably the thing was damaged. Like it made us better at inspecting stuff when we get it in from the factory. That's one thing, like, I don't know what other train shops do, but it's really easy to get the box in and send it out. But we started actually, like, you know, shaking the boxes and just make sure there's no parts flying around in there, because...
And when he says shake, he means just, like, doing a quick, like, just up and down of a box.
Yeah.
Gently to see if you hear loose items.
Right, because...
Not aggressive.
Yeah, we're not trying to destroy stuff, but like, you know, if you hear, like what we learned with like a locomotive, for example, if the coupler is loose, well, that means probably it's stripped out of the shell, and then you have bigger problems. So we'd rather find it out before we, you know, get it off to market, so to speak. You know, and I realize that's probably a difficult task with big train shops that are getting in pallets and pallets of stuff. But, you know, it's one of those things that we want to keep that going. We don't want to, just because we grow bigger, we don't want issues with that.
Dedicated Dad Gamer said he got his package from us last week and he appreciated the prompt shipping and service. So I don't know who that is, but thank you.
All right, appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, we've actually been changing up how we do shipping and stuff. Our whole process, our whole day sort of changed, and really involves waking up earlier so that we can get things together and everything. Yeah, it's been going really good. Once we kind of get things down a little better, we'll have a video that talks about that a little more. So I won't get into that whole thing, but we've been, organizing more, adding more shelves, more products, all kinds of stuff. Just, we're never finished, right? Just, I always am working in the mindset that we're just getting started. Like, I know, we've been at this for a little bit, but I feel that as soon as a business starts saying, we've done it all, we've seen it all, that's when they start kind of declining.
Here's the picture Glenn emailed me.
Okay, I want to take a quick break to look at Glenn's picture here. Oh, that's a sweetheart. That is a nice looking logo right there. Oh yeah. Yes, Glacier Green. Yep. That is cool. I don't know, Great Northern, they knew what they were doing with branding. Like the light blue, the brighter colors, it really jumps out. Yeah, that is sweet. I just ordered a few things for the layout, so we'll see when those come in. I didn't get too crazy, but did some pre-orders and stuff. So, that could be months and years.
Whenever we vacuum down here, we're gonna hear all kinds of things.
I know. I don't walk around barefoot, or I'll be getting some trip pins. That will get it cleaned up. Hey, sometimes when you hobby, things get a little messy. Just reference material, any train collection we ever bought. It's always interesting, all the glue and all the craziness you find. Yeah, it's awesome. And speaking of the hobby, I like this one. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. So just remember that. Playing with trains keeps your mind young. Oh, model trains got me through actually a pretty tough part of my life. I was having serious eye problems, and I literally, I was sort of at a crossroads, so to speak, with, I was working in a warehouse job, and the only thing I can figure out is, the really dusty environment. Anything's a little dusty, old model trains can get a little dusty, but it was, drying my eyes out. I think they called it blepharitis, and oh yeah, it wasn't pleasant. My eyelids were puffing up, they looked like softballs. It was bad. So I was doing a lot of computer stuff. I'm pretty much I was into computer programming and all kinds of stuff like that here at home. I was trying to pursue a career with things like that. And yeah, it was really a challenge. So during that period, I couldn't really look at screens, so I was kind of going crazy. Um, so, on my way out of that job, one thing that kept me somewhat sane was starting to play with trains. I found our old train collection and kind of got into it. And when I was like at the peak of my issues with that, yeah, it was really cool to start playing with trains and stuff. And never thought we were headed in this direction where we would have get to know people from across the world in the trains. And I honestly didn't know it was such a thing. Like, I like the first time I saw like videos of like people that converted an entire house into model railroads, I was like, whoa, there's a whole new level here. And seeing miniature Wonderland, it's like, wow, this is sweet. And then of course like the computer programming side of my brain, I love like playing with DCC and stuff like that. And as far as our trains go, I didn't even get started with the ideas I have. Which once we get the rest of our track laid out, we'll probably be throwing down some buildings here or there that look a little more presentable. But then I really want to dive into like the operations aspect of stuff. So we're going to have some fun here. And then again, this is all going to build up to the community layout. And that's going to be sweet. It's really cool. There's actually people in our community right here that, like, they're just excited about it. Like, I even got talking to the UPS driver the other day. He's even like, whoa, that's awesome. Like, every time, they have no idea what we're doing with this old building. And when I say model train shop, they're just like, whoa, you don't hear that every day. But it's cool. It's getting the message out there. And you know what's cool? Every time I tell someone, like, well, not every time, but it happened. It happened a few times already. Within the last little bit, they'll say, "Whoa, my grandkids are gonna love this place."
Glenn has to get back to work. Tell him see ya.
All right, see you, Glenn. Thanks for joining us. We'll see what we can do about getting get a later show going and stuff. We'll get back on track here after. This week's just exceptional, to say the least. We'll see. But thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. And let's see. Well, actually, I'm doing pretty good. I hit the halfway point, and I hit the halfway point of the cars almost. Just got gotta get more couplers ricocheting here. Again, nothing against the trip pins. It's just, for me, I think. Well, it's an extra thing to get hung up on switches and stuff, which honestly shouldn't happen if, everything's level and the car's like all set up the right way. But I kind of have a plan that maybe I'll do something cool with hoses at some point. So for now, I guess I'll just do this. We'll see. Maybe in a year I'll be like, oh, I want to run magnets. I use magnets on my layout. I cut off all my trip pins. We'll see. I guess I wouldn't be the first person that had to redo something they regretted. Well, actually, there's some couplers. Unfortunately, like there is a few things, especially well cars, that I think it's going to be really hard to convert the couplers. So I might just have to leave them be. And it seems that when the trip pins aren't in the way, that it's just an easier situation to deal with. So I think it'll pay off. I think it'll make sense. Oh man, I just started getting attacked by a fly. Hopefully that doesn't become a situation. I hate when flies land on audio equipment. That really makes for an unpleasant noise. hope I put all these couplers facing the right way. When you cut the trip pins, sometimes it's easy to accidentally put them in upside down. It can get a little tricky. Oh yeah, these are really nice though. They really move. That's what you want, good reflexes.
Someone said to turn the coupler upside down.
Yeah, that is the key. Wait, did I literally... Wait, I did it, didn't I? I think I'm okay on this one. I guess I'll find out when I try to hook them up and they're one's facing the same way. That would be sad. Wait, yeah. Wait, you're right. Wait a minute. Oh no, we're good. Can you imagine them all? Oh wait, no, I didn't. Thank you. You know, as I'm saying it, like that happened. Wow. You know what it is? I'm actually... Again, this is such a beast. I'm literally cutting them so short, it looks like... Yeah. Like I can't tell the factory now from what I just cut. Okay. Thank you, thank you. That would have been frustrating later on. Like, what's happening? No, of course I would have figured that out quickly, but guaranteed it would have been during the show. Yes. Well, that tells me we're broadcasting in HD pretty good. You spotted that. That's great. But yeah, that's exactly my point. They're, yeah, little something you gotta look out for then. Oh, this one's sliding away. I didn't quite put it in there right. Yeah, maybe I should inspect my work since I'm at the halfway point here. Be a shame to find out some issues arise. Well, if I had a second camera, we would throw them on. Let's see here. Just making sure. And okay, yeah. I'm gonna get some of these guys out of the way here. Yep, I guarantee we'll be doing a coal run during the next show. Okay, yes. We're looking okay. Yeah, I'm glad I had someone watching my back. It's probably my subconscious like kicking in, like yeah, we have a problem, or we could have a problem because these look so clean cut. Okay, that looks great. Yeah, it's better than what I used to do. Before I had like a good cutter like that, I would like actually try to like sand them down, because well, I guess they can get a little sharp. I didn't try these actually. Yeah, there's a little sharpness to them. It's not out of hand, but if we wanted to go all out, we could file them back a little bit yet, but I don't feel like, you know, I guess I'll learn if I accidentally cut myself, but I don't think that would be a pretty crazy accident. But yeah, it's not too sharp.
How many more do you have left?
8 more, so that was half. So I guess the question is, do we want to keep going on, or do we want to save the rest for next time? I mean, it's pretty much the same thing over and over again. You know, maybe we will save them, but I can show you guys what we got here though. Got some BNs. Like I said, they got white stripes on them. Look good, not exactly our era, but I wasn't gonna pass that up. And the CSX as well, because you know I'm all about chassis. So yeah, that's other stuff we got going on, but we could test these 8 out on the layout next time and make sure I'm on the right track. We got a bunch of Accumate couplers. If anyone is looking for some Accumate couplers, shout us a holler, and we could always throw them into your order. So that's a thing too. We have plenty of them, so we'll give some freebies if you order from our site, if you use these guys. Again, nothing wrong with them, just when it comes to scale couplers, sometimes, you know, some issues connecting them, and sometimes they like to, honestly I feel like it's more like once they're connected, they're like really difficult to deconnect, but every now and then they'll just randomly let loose while I'm on the rails. So I love the KD 158s. This is a sealed pack that actually is still for sale, but I want to show that off because we're well underway on our pack here. But it's been good. It felt good to get back into action here a little bit. Definitely looking forward to showing you guys what's going on the railroad, but I think we'll have a little suspense till next time. So yeah, you know, considering the week we had and stuff, I don't want to, you know, go on here too long, and I'm sure next time I'll have even more stories to tell because it's always exciting around here. Yeah, so with that said, again, big update with Rails to Retail soon. You can see the progress of our new property where we're building a train shop, and going to also have a video unboxing some stuff. We had, I think it was 3 packages were sent to us and a local drop-off. Guy actually traveled like an hour and a half to drop it off, and we saw him for like 5 minutes. He's really awesome, really good customer, really nice guy. So that's just like, yeah, it's definitely humbling and heartwarming and all that stuff. It's really awesome. So we appreciate all the support, guys. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. We'll look forward to being on the layout next time. Like I said, a lot more action coming your way. Victoria, do you want to sign these guys off? Because I gotta literally hit the button to sign off, and that's across the room. So Victoria will send you guys off, but thanks again for watching.
Yeah, thanks. We appreciate the support. We will hopefully be back next week. We'll see what we end up doing, what time we end up doing, but stay tuned for some updates.